and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with
Justin DeClue
and Colin Cunningham.
And this week, we're talking about a well-received sequel to a really popular movie, right?
A blockbuster hit, if you will.
Well, it's well received by certain people.
You could call it a swing for the fences.
Exactly.
Because we're talking about Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
Confusingly, like Pitch Black. I saw there was a documentary called Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, and it's like, oh, God.
What?
Yeah, Chronicles of Riddick doesn't have a subtitle, which is weird, right? Like,
No,
Necromongers Rising or
Well,
something
I
like
think
that.
the first one was Pitch Black, and then later they re-released it as the Chronicles of Riddick: Pitch Black, so people would know they're the same universe.
Like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Respect that movie, right? You're like, it's Raiders of the Lost
Jesus.
Ark or nothing.
How stupid.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how
back
they
my Star Wars.
they change movie titles after they come out, like
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Live, die, repeat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that-
Is that
that's
official in the
confusing.
actual movie, though?
No, it's
Okay.
not. Or Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey,
Oh,
which it
right.
recently did.
They do that a lot, but we've actually, if you're a longtime listener, we've teased this movie for a long time because we all really like this movie. I might say that I actually love this movie.
I love this movie as well. I have been disgusted by some close friends of mine who have claimed to love this movie, have said, it's not that good now. And I'm like, how dare you?
No, it's really entertaining.
Yes.
It's if you've seen Pitch Black and you think of a sequel to Pitch Black, this guaranteed is not the movie you're going to be thinking about.
The one that came after, you could see that more as a sequel to Pitch
No,
Black.
absolutely. Yeah, when this one bombed and they had to scale back the budget.
Yeah.
12 years later.
I mean, I know some people who, including me, who liked Pitch Black and liked this, but I think a lot of people, because this went in a kind of a different direction, were disappointed in this because it was too weird and too big.
So
I
I
guess.
think I saw this before I saw Pitch Black.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I had seen Pitch Black, which, I don't know, Colin, did the world have Pitch
Pitch
Black,
Black
Fever?
Fever?
Because it was a big hit when it came out, wasn't it?
Well, it was
think
like
it did well.
It was a moderate hit. I think
Okay.
it was coming out of maybe festivals or something like that because I hear. No, I remember hearing a lot of talk about it before it came out. It might
Okay.
have been like when I was scouring Ain't It Cool
Yeah.
News back in the day. But I saw it in the theater. It was really low budget, and there was a lot of talk ahead of its release.
Which one's going to win, Ghost of Mars or Pitch Black? Who knows?
I don't think it was a big hit. I think it was a hit compared to its budget.
I think it was a big hit on video.
Probably, yeah,
I
I could see
I
that,
had it
yeah.
on video. I don't know how or when. I don't think I saw it in theaters, but my mom liked this movie, and I guess she bought it on VHS. So, and we didn't have a ton of VHS movies, so it was like if there's only like 8 to choose from, we ended up watching this quite a bit.
You're watching Pitch Black.
Yeah.
It's Pitch Black or Look Who's Talking To.
Pitch Black or 5 different Robin Hoods.
Yeah, but it's a good little kind of independent sci-fi movie.
I mean, I think it was made by Universal.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
maybe
But
I'm
it
just
wasn't
remembering
like a
that.
big
No,
budget.
it was never meant to be a big film.
It was very self-contained,
Intimate.
very small.
self-aware enough. Like there's that hilarious
Sure,
shot
yeah.
of Vin Diesel like sitting back and there's like a crash zoom on him and he's like, hey.
Right.
You guys don't remember that?
I remember
Oh,
nothing.
so
I haven't seen it since the theater.
We should have rewatched it for this podcast.
Yeah.
Because
We ran
Chronicles
out
of
time.
Riddick is a direct sequel to Pitch Black because characters
Yeah.
from Pitch Black appear in it.
Which
Yes.
I was very confused. But the thing is, like, when I saw Pitch Black, I didn't think much of it. Like, I wasn't crazy about it.
You were blown away by the visual effects, though.
I did not like the
No,
visual effects.
they are bad.
No, and it was one of those things that was like, oh, okay, this is kind of okay. Never wanted to revisit it again.
Yeah.
Like
And
ever.
it was before Vin Diesel was. It was like at the beginning of his career, right?
I think
The
so.
star of Pitch Black, like the main woman.
I think it was the girl, Rhoda Mitchell.
Yeah, it was Rhoda Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
She's
Who
an
would go
Australian-
on to star in Underworld 3.
And Silent Hill.
Yeah, and Doomsday. Oh, no, I'm thinking of somebody else.
No,
Yeah, you're-
I know who you're thinking of.
You know, yeah, exactly. Silent Hill. That's who
Yeah.
she went on to do. All right. Well, with that exciting bit of information, let's jump into Diesel madness. Because
Right.
I'll admit, I'm a Vin Diesel fan. And I did not like Vin Diesel when I was a teenager because it was Fast and the Furious, and that was lame. I did not like that. I
And
did
the
not
first
like
Triple X. Too.
Yeah, Triple X is awful.
The first one
Oh,
is
I
bad.
could not get through it.
bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I mean, Knockaround Guys, Boiler Room.
Boiler Room. Oh God,
I mean, Vin Diesel, he had done the voice of Iron Giant.
that's right.
Yeah.
And he had been in Saving Private Ryan, which famously Steven Spielberg, when asked if it was easy to work with Vin Diesel, said, "Why do you think I killed him off first?"
Well, he came from directing his own movies, writing and directing
he
and
did
starring.
a short called
Vin Diesel.
No, I think it was like multiracial, something like that. No, probably not something that specific, but it was about that experience in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he also did a feature film that I had never heard about before, but only got released in 2007 that he directed himself.
Oh,
so
really?
I think it sat on a shelf for a long time until he made it big enough.
So is he biracial?
No one knows.
Well, he won't say.
Oh, he won't say?
Yeah,
Okay.
he won't say. And so Chronicles of Riddick was the first time that I'm like, oh yeah, Vin Diesel's on my level.
Well, so you never saw Pitch Black, but
No.
like I remember like liking that movie because he just has so much charisma and he's so
Yeah.
cool. Like he doesn't.
Oh no, don't let Vin Diesel hear you
Yeah,
say
see,
that.
I don't remember. Again, I haven't
Just as
seen
I
this since
thought.
like high school, so I don't remember if he even talks that much in that first movie.
He comes crashing through the wall like
Yeah.
Kool-Aid Man. He's like, someone say I was cool.
He doesn't talk much in this one either. He's a man of few words.
I
Yeah.
mean, in the third one, he doesn't talk for the first 50 minutes,
Yeah.
I think. It's
Really?
like his...
It's like a boy and his dog.
yeah,
he's
a boy
him
and his
alone
dog is
on
going to
his-
say, what's the Paul Thomas said? There will be blood.
Yeah,
Which
that's
the
right,
First,
that's
like,
right.
30 minutes they don't talk.
Yeah, I actually like that.
And so in the second one, David Twohy, the writer-director of Pitch Black, came back. And it seems like around this time, David Twohy and Vin Diesel like formed a bond.
Right.
Yeah, so a little background. David Twohy and two other writers wrote Pitch Black, and I think that they conceived the whole story, like the whole 3 movies at once.
Sure they did, George.
Yeah, I guess. And then I don't know, maybe they knew Vin Diesel or whatever. He was attached, and so he went to like the executives with like a big binder of the whole story and got them to make the first movie. And then they somehow convinced them to
no
make a
way
second
that
movie.
happened.
Did you hear?
Well, that was in the IMDb
It's a famous
trivia.
story, yeah. So they brought the scripts for the next 3.
Yes, after Pitch Black.
Yes.
Not when they pitched Pitch Black.
They
Yeah.
pitched Pitch Black.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, the story goes that they were all locked in these binders, each
yeah.
separately, and then they gave the executives the key just for Chronicles of Riddick,
Yeah.
and the other ones could be opened at another date.
So, I mean,
So cool.
After it makes $500 million at the box
Vin
office.
Diesel's career has been defined by the fact that he gets mega hits like Triple X
Yeah.
or Fast and the Furious, and then the studios go, I guess you can do whatever you want. So that results in stuff like that Wizard movie that he was in,
The Last Witch Hunter.
The Last Witch Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not good, and I do not
it's
like.
okay.
But there's a great scene where Vin Diesel like makes a symbol on a plane in the window, and he goes, "Magic."
He's like
This is the first 5
somewhat
minutes.
charismatic in that, but nowhere near as charismatic as he is as Riddick. He just is so sleepy in every role I've seen him in, other
Yeah.
than Riddick.
He kind of
I would
phones it
say
in.
that like Vin Diesel is almost like negative charisma, that it goes like all the way around, that he becomes charismatic.
Yeah.
Especially in his doughy face.
There's something about this character that usually I can never stand him when he's on his own. You know what I mean? Like a single role. It's great when he's in an ensemble and he's got other people, or the Fast and Furious movies are so ridiculous. But this movie, it's like the only kind of character I can stand him in, and I genuinely think like he's awesome. Like he's really
Yeah, me
he's
too.
made for this character.
Yeah.
This is his Snake Plissken.
Yeah, this movie actually has a lot of things in common with Escape from LA. It's very episodic, not quite as episodic. This is more like there's like 3 parts to it.
Yeah, there's
There's the opening part.
the kind of alien invasion movie.
Yeah.
There's, Macbeth is going on in the background.
Yeah, that's what I said. And then there's a prison
Prison
break.
escape movie. Yeah.
Break.
And then there's the end where he overthrows the
Yeah.
Roman
Conan,
Empire.
Conan,
Yeah, that's right.
The barbarian.
Yeah.
They
It
both
gets-
end the same way.
Yeah, and it ends with him sitting on the throne, just like Conan. So yeah, the prison break scene, that is a huge chunk of the movie.
It is. It's
Yeah.
like 50 minutes, and that's the best part of the movie, no
by,
doubt.
by far. And I kind of felt, I was telling April that I was like, we're almost done the movie. And like, I really think that the beginning kind of invasion part was the weakest. Like it was really,
It was
very dull.
It was a little long, and it had to do a lot of exposition.
Right when the movie starts, the worst thing that it does is it like gives you like 2 minutes of voiceover. It's like, no, just let us discover it as it plays.
It's
we
Judi
don't
Dench.
need to know
I
it.
feel like that was probably a studio note.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
There isn't one universe. There's a multiverse.
Is there any narration that isn't a studio note?
I was thinking about that. Like, has anyone other than like, I don't know, Star Wars, have they ever done like preloaded exposition that is revealed in the movie and like on purpose?
That the director was really passionate about and fought for.
Nobody likes that.
The studio's like, no, it's very clear. No, we want that exposition.
Well, I didn't mind it because I mean this can be a little confusing, this movie, and I really liked the lore. I was able. This is the second time I've seen this, so I was able to follow what was going on in the whole backstory, because without it you don't know who the Necromongers are, you know.
I think it's made pretty clear that they're like invaders.
Or you could just have Colm Feore explain it.
Steal people's souls,
Yeah.
which raises many theological questions.
Well, it's not clear what they're doing because you're like they're half alive and half dead.
Because like he pulls a guy's soul out, which is like the soul in the mummy. I guess some VFX house was making a lot of money with that kind of template. And the guy turns around to look at his soul.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm like, wait, what's going on?
He's alive.
And he's
but
in
I
horror.
guess-
And I think he reaches out for it too. Like he's
which
gonna.
happens in the Mummy Returns.
and-
Does it really?
When
And then he
Imhotep
dies.
gets his soul taken, he's like, no.
So the first half, so the first third of this movie is on a planet I can't remember where.
Helion Prime.
Helion Prime, and I was thinking,
in the Delta Quadrant.
I was thinking this looks like the Mummy, like the sets and just kind of the costumes and stuff, and so maybe the same
Yeah, it
production
almost-
company worked on it.
It almost looks like it's some sort of like Middle Eastern.
It's supposed to be like a deserty planet.
Desert planet. Keith David shows up as this sort of
he was in the first one. He was in Pitch Black.
Yeah,
He was
which
one
I
of the
had to
people.
look at.
We
Like,
forgot, but
I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
about
so
the first one.
basically, he meets up with him, and we get like a bit of like, this is what happened in the last movie, and
Wait, we're skipping something very important, which is Vin Diesel on an ice planet.
This is like
yeah.
the
And then
coolest beginning.
Everybody who has ever watched this movie asks the same question. Is that Ron Perlman?
what, when he has the beard?
Or the beard and the hair.
There's a guy named Toombs in the movie.
Oh, the other guy, Toombs,
yeah.
does look like Ron
he looks
Perlman.
exactly like Ron Perlman.
He kinda
He's
does.
not.
Yeah.
And what's great about that is they're hunting Riddick in a ship where like gunners are hanging off of like straps.
Yeah.
on the
So cool.
outside.
That was really strange, but interesting choice.
Yeah, so the gunners have like they shoot nets and stuff like that. But he's running. They show him kind of running, and he's running across these rock formations, and like the wide shot, and it looks like a fingerprint. It looks like fingerprint swirls and whirls. It looks really cool.
And then they don't catch Riddick. Riddick defeats them all.
He catches them.
Yeah.
This is the best thing. It's like what I love about the character is he's always like 10 steps ahead of everybody.
I mean, there's a reveal where he's like, "This was all part of my plan," and I'm like, "Was
Yeah.
it? That was a very complicated plan."
Yes,
He's
The
the
thing is,
best at everything.
Yeah, but like Triple X is like that too.
Yeah,
But
it's
Triple
Vin Diesel.
but
Yeah, that's
Triple
what
X or what Xander Cage is like, he's cocky and annoying and
Oh, no,
not.
I love Xander Cage.
Yeah, but like for some reason I like the Riddick character. I don't like Triple X.
yeah.
Well, Xander Cage is like a dad that's telling you he's so cool. You're
Yeah.
like, all
Yeah,
right.
Like this is like he's got the shiny eyes and he's just
We-
like this alien almost.
He doesn't have to do anything. Like Vin Diesel is kind of like a lumbering oaf, I guess. But yeah, he's still kind of like lean and young in this movie.
Well, this is 2004.
He doesn't have to say much, or he's the kind of guy who'll like when he kind of gets in that knife fight with the Colm Feore's soldier.
Yeah.
He finishes it. He's not doing all these flourishy fights and like he's not like Jet Li or anything like that. But I don't know.
He just goes right for it.
He'll finish the fight in the quickest way possible.
Yeah, because he's
in the most badass
Furion,
way.
as is
Yeah.
revealed in this movie.
Yeah, no, we watched the director's cut.
Yeah.
The
So all the stuff with the
unrated cut.
woman in the dream sequences were not in the theatrical cut.
Okay.
And watching it, I was like, what was it? I don't remember what it was in the theatrical cut. And I didn't bother to take my DVD off the shelf, which I remember the DVDs that were released had the branching thing, so the film would like freeze before
Oh,
like
yeah.
switches. That was
Yeah.
the worst.
But like, yeah, I don't really. Maybe he just hears a voice or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, what happens?
Yeah.
Why he suddenly like shoots an energy beam that destroys everybody at one point?
But I don't even know if that was in.
I don't think it was. I
Yeah.
think he maybe just got knocked out. Maybe they cut to black or something like that.
Yeah, I can't. This is like my second or third time seeing this, and I don't know if I've ever seen the theatrical.
So right from the beginning, like Vin Diesel decides, somebody put a hit on me. I got to go see who it is and what they want. And then it cuts to Crematoria. And that scene was not in the original version. That's why the visual effects look so bad in that scene. Because you see some dogs and you're like, whoa, these look like they were not rendered properly.
Yeah, well, it's like one of the dog's arms like reaches out of the cage.
Oh,
and,
that's what that was.
Yeah, and I
it
think
awful.
Yeah, I think I went.
What the arm was.
Because they never looked that bad in the movie.
I want to say just blanket up front. I don't think the effects are good in this movie.
I think they can be.
Have we ever talked about a movie where you're like, the effects are great in this movie, other than Double Dragon? And on a visual effects standpoint,
if
they were that
probably
good.
not.
If they're
We
on,
wouldn't have
if they're
noticed.
on this podcast,
Yes.
probably not.
But I just feel like some of the effects were good. But, Colin's the expert. So.
I just watching this movie, it kind of, when you look at certain types of effects, it has like the stink of the 90s on it.
Yes, it does. Well, it has what I like to call that ultraviolet sheen. There was a period of time where movies, they thought that like overexposing everything would make it like look futuristic and cool.
There's that, but every kind of like laser blast or whatever, it's very has a very elaborate effect. And then every spaceship has a very elaborate CG like smoke trail or energy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, it looks like kind of plug-in effects where it's just like energy beams and things, and and there's like flyover shots where like these ships are flying over like landscapes.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff where CG isn't rendered with motion blur, so it has this very.
That's that stop motion effect though, right?
It's a very characteristic of the 90s when like motion blur was very, very expensive, time consuming to render. So you often would have to do shots without motion blur. Just to save time, just to get the shot done. And so everything just has this really stroby, early, say, mid-90s CG feel.
I mean, it also looks like they just watched David Lynch's Dune and looked through an H.R. Geiger art book, because that's what all the designs look like.
Design-wise, I love it.
I think the designs are fantastic.
Yeah, production design, I have no problem
I
with.
really liked the Necromongers ship. I can't even remember it right now, but it had a really interesting shape to it that was not what you would
Yeah, it's like
normally
a big
see.
skull or something, isn't it?
Yeah, everything.
I don't remember.
I was gonna say like everything looks really chunky and
everybody's guns are like really big. Like someone has 2 pistols at one point.
everything looks like it's at a Gears of War, like the video game. Like
Before
people
Gears. Wait, when the Gears of War come out? Probably after this, 2004.
Oh yeah, I think so.
So is your favorite part the ship designs?
No,
April?
well, kind of. So I just like all the really, really interesting small like sci-fi details in this that don't need to be there, but it just kind of helps like create the world. Like,
Ooh, that's a Tui touch.
yeah, I guess the Tui touch.
Yep.
So Carl Urban he wants to take over the throne, and he's married to what's her name?
Sandy Newton.
Sandy Newton, and she's like trying to like pull the strings.
She's Macbething him.
Yeah, exactly. She's like Lady Macbeth. So there's one scene where she's like putting on makeup and she's using like what looks like a hot glue gun kind of. So it's like burning her makeup on her face.
There's so much fun stuff like that.
It's
like
so neat.
At one point they're talking through like a walkie-talkie and it's like a guy's body on the ground.
It's a body that's in like a plastic bag that could also read thoughts, because they use those things to like read Vin Diesel's thoughts.
April
at one
was
point.
like, are those things radios?
And at one point, Carl Urban wants to see like where a ship went, and he gets these guys that have like diving helmets on to like look up into the sky.
Yeah.
And then he like pulls a display off their back.
Those guys are called lensers.
Yeah, well,
and they're
probably-
like these like half alive lumbering like zombies.
I mean,
I love that
feel
so
like
much.
David Towie probably saw City of Lost Children, the Jean-Pierre Jeunet film, because
I've never seen
those
it.
guys have that like goggle thing and like the big eye.
Okay.
and they make like sounds.
They make little clicker sounds, and they
Yeah.
sound like the cordyceps from Last of Us, because they make these little like kind of bat like ultra. I forget what it's called. Like
Are they talking about a video game?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know what you were
Just
talking about, Colin.
It's like echolocation.
Yeah.
Dolphins
Yeah.
use it and bats use it, but it's like almost the same sound effect. But these are kind of like they're almost like dogs. They're on these leashes,
Yeah,
and they're led around, and they have
yeah.
these like they look like kind of hologram faces or like divers masks.
Well, they're
with
like
big magnifying glasses.
magnified, so it looks like gross.
It looks
But
so cool.
Then later you find out that one of them gets killed, and so I'm like, oh, so they're just a lot. I didn't know what they were. There's people in there.
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
and then they're kind of the guy who's like leading them around has this like monitor that
on their
sees what
back
they
that
see.
You can, like, pull it off.
Oh, it's so cool. I always like these guys.
It's such an interesting, like I said, like touch in a movie like this, and I just want to point out that like this is not based on a prior thing.
It's based definitely on the dreams that Vin Diesel had,
Yeah.
and or a role playing game. So like, there's a funny
role-playing
story.
game.
There's a funny story that went around this time that like Vin Diesel taught Judi Dench how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
By the way, we forgot to mention Judi Dench is in this
she
movie.
does nothing in this movie.
She's pretty.
She just showed up probably on a green screen, and they
Oh,
just
yeah.
like comped her in, and she didn't have to interact with
she's
anyone
so
else.
lovely.
I don't think she's
though.
present on set with any of the actors.
No,
but-
but then Joe, not Mantegna. Wait, which is the guy that's in like the Magic Mike films? He's
That's
also in the
not Joe.
Oh, Joe
Mantegna.
Mangiano.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah. He's like a big
Manganiello.
D&D guy, and he's like, no one plays D&D with Vin Diesel. So if he says that, he's lying.
Dude,
and he's like, I know all the D&D people in LA. So
Oh well, good for him. No, the IMDb says it was Vin Diesel, Judi Dench, Carl Urban,
Urban, yeah.
and I
David
keep wanting
Toohey?
to call her Zoe Saldana. It's not.
that.
Sandy Newton. Sandy Newton.
Sandy
racist.
Newton. It said all of them were playing D&D. So
that's
who
a good
knows?
press quote that went around a lot
Who
when
knows
the
what
movie
the real
came
story
out.
is?
What if
But,
it turns out that like Judi Dench was like the dungeon master?
Probably
She taught everybody
Yeah.
else.
Well,
We're going to play
Judi
some
Dench
D&D.
never met Vin Diesel.
No, you guys are. I want to think that it was a fun set that everyone was having a good time
Vin
on.
Diesel does not have fun sets.
Well,
If you wanna hear
apparently
some
Judi
stories.
Dench said in her autobiography she had no idea what the movie was about, but she had but it seemed interesting, so she
was like,
had
"The
a good
Chronicles
enough
of what?"
time.
She plays an exposition ghost.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
all
much.
she does. She has no.
Yeah.
But
At
she
the
called
end, she like smiles and nods and goes, "What are the odds?"
Oh yeah, what are the odds of
Oh,
that?
we forgot to talk about, but there's so many good one-liners in this movie, and it's on par with like any like cheesy like bad 80s or 90s movie that we watch.
Sure, yeah.
But I feel like maybe it got judged more harshly in this movie because of what the movie is, that it's this big sci-fi thing.
I think the problem when it came out was that like people wanted a sequel to Pitch Black, which was a horror film, and they got this like Conan in space.
They got Lord of the Rings.
ego trip giant thing, and
meets
they're like,
Dune.
"What is this?"
Yeah, I could see that.
And I guess maybe they didn't think that this character fit in this world, which I totally disagree. But what's a good line? He sees Thandie Newman and he says,
Thandie Newman.
Thandie
Thandie Newton.
Newton says, "It's been a long time since I smelled beautiful."
Yeah.
He smells
Is he
her.
talking about himself?
And then Toombs, when he sees Vin Diesel again, he kind of like double crosses him at the beginning, but then he comes back and recaptures Vin Diesel. He's like, "You should have dusted my dick last time I saw you."
Dusted my dick.
I mean, this is filled with like great like character actor faces that you don't even recognize
Yeah.
them as character actors. They're just like good faces. Like
Yeah, Toombs is amazing.
Vin Diesel gets captured. It's weird. It almost feels like stuff is cut out because he gets to this planet. His friend is like, "The Necromongers are coming," and then the Necromongers are there. Then he
Right.
gets captured by the Necromongers, or just shows up, and he takes on Canada's own Colm Feore.
Colm
Colm Feore, who,
Feore.
if you're Canadian, you would definitely recognize this guy's face.
Yeah, from
Star-
the wrong guy.
Star of the wrong guy, I was going to
And
say.
he maybe people know him most because he played Pierre Trudeau in a made-for-TV movie.
I have never seen that.
We were forced to watch it in history class.
Don't people know him as the Frost King from Thor?
He was, I don't know.
He's on
Oh my
like
God.
big makeup in that movie.
Oh, really?
And he gets killed at the end of the first act.
Nobody
he had a
remembers
small
Thor.
move in Amazing Spider-Man 2, possibly 1 as well, but
No.
he was in 2.
What did he do?
He was like the executive
That's
of
right, he was.
the Osborne company, Oscorp, and so he was trying to like take it over, and then like
That's right. I have a feeling he was only in one scene.
no, he was in a
can't
couple
fire
scenes.
Was he really?
Like,
This is my company.
well, so like Harry Osborn is that what the son is called? Takes him down to the
So this is
basement, and he's
the
like,
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
yeah, and he's like, inject me with this venom, and he's like, it's gonna kill you, and he's like, I don't care, and then he becomes Green Goblin. So that was
Does
Colm
Fior
Feore.
have like a lot of bills to pay, or is he funding all of Stratford himself?
Well, I think he just will do anything.
He'll just do anything.
Well, I think this was shot
He's
in
good,
BC.
Yes.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
in BC.
So,
which is
you
where
get-
they also. Oh no, they shot the third one in Montreal.
Montreal, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, that's where a lot of like VFX movies are done now. But you come to Canada to shoot, you get Canadian royalty.
Yeah,
Colm Feore.
He's so good
Colm
though.
Feore.
He has such a good stage
He
presence.
does.
He's really
But it's
good.
really funny when he gets into like a martial arts school.
I know.
Well, yeah, I
Vin
never
Diesel at the end.
never seen him do that, and he has a kind of like, I'm angry, kind of voice, and he has a line where what does he say? He's like, who is he? Where does he come from? These are the things I need to know. And it's like, that's just is that a bad script or a bad line reading?
Hey,
I don't know.
he didn't write it.
Yeah.
They probably sold it to him like, Colm, it'd be like doing Shakespeare in space.
Oh
no!
He's
Like,
they
I'm
sold
good
it
at
to him.
Shakespeare.
They like turned a briefcase full of money. And they opened it up. And then gas came out.
And because he's not like a big name, he probably didn't have to pay him as
It's
much.
just it's like a Brinks truck that's backing
Yeah.
up, beep beep, and then it opens up, and then Vin Diesel's there, and he just punches him in the face and drags him to set.
There's no money in it.
He just wakes up on set. Where am I? Who are you people?
He's like, you're about to have some bad luck.
Judi
Macbeth.
Judy,
him in the face.
Judi Dench, did they get you too?
But yeah, sorry, to go back to the scene you were just talking about, when he first gets to the Necromongers kind of like castle.
It's so funny to say Necromonger.
Yeah, it's a funny name, but it makes sense. He challenges it's this big guy, and he beats him, and then he takes like a knife from him, and they go, "You keep what you can kill." And he takes his knife and he twirls it around in his hand, and it's like a CG knife.
Yeah.
That moves independently. It's really
it's
funny.
not affecting. It's like a half gram heavy on the backside. And that's like that kind of carries into the ending. But when you kill somebody, you get to keep their belongings, I guess, or something. You keep what you kill. It's a necromonger.
He's like, I want the like head helmet thing.
like,
Do I
no,
get to put that on?
No, you can't have that.
That is the necromonger way.
No, you get his knife. That's it.
And then like Vin Diesel is put in a chamber where a bunch of women under sheets are like, no.
I think those were the radio people.
I think they were somebody different. They were like
precogs.
precog.
Yeah, it is actually.
That's
the kind of
Minority Report.
It's the thing I kind of like about this movie. He's not afraid to get really wacky with like the sci-fi ideas, and you really don't see stuff like this.
Can you imagine the studio executive's face when
my
they read
God.
the script, when they saw a cut, and when it was about to be released? I would have paid money for them to be like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, you're right. I guess it was just a little too weird.
This is like them unleashed. I feel.
Oh,
I feel
for
like
sure.
nobody could say like, "Don't do that."
You couldn't make something like this now because of all the money. $1 billion went into this movie.
This is a
studio-
joke that we made on our Patreon.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Subscribe now.
But those things looked like almost like something from Hellraiser or something. Like there was a lot of like kind of like demonic imagery and what with the souls kind of coming
Yeah.
out of the body and
Right.
stuff.
Again, very Mummy Returns.
I don't think I've ever seen Mummy
Never
Returns.
seen Mummy Returns?
No.
The second best Stephen Sommers Mummy film?
The first
I guess also
one.
the worst because that's the only two he made.
The first one's better.
No, I said the second best.
Right.
So
it's the worst one.
Yeah, I realized that because Rob Cohen directed the third one. Now that's a bad movie.
Is it the Tomb of the
Jet
Dragon
Li
Emperor?
one.
Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
I never saw
I
that
love the Mummy. It's so good.
I like The Mummy, although I think I tried to watch it recently and I turned it off. But it was fun. But we're not talking about The Mummy.
No, we're talking
man.
about Chronicles of Riddick. I can't wait to say the title every time because there's a third movie called Riddick.
Yeah, we're talking about the movie in which Vin Diesel kills a guy with a teacup.
So good.
So that's in the prison sequence on a planet called.
Crematoria.
I love the names in this. They're
Which
on
is the
on the
best.
nose, but they work.
So what is it? So Crematoria on the dark side of the planet.
Yeah.
It's like minus 300 degrees. And
So
it's freezing.
Vin Diesel gets captured.
Recaptured by tombs.
Yeah, by tombs. But then it's revealed that he's like, later on, that it was all part of his plan because he wanted to go save. There's a young girl in the first one. Here she's older, not played by the same actress.
Right.
No, it was only part of his plan because he knew he was going to get caught, and then he somehow, by way of talking, convinced them to take him to
No, he
Crematoria,
didn't
right?
convince them because they were already going there.
No, he was like,
No, 'cause
he's like, there's only one prison planet.
I kind of read that too.
area.
And then Toombs is like, how does he know where we're going?
Okay, I kind of read it like he wanted to go there and was sort of implanting it in Toombs, like, you're a smart guy, this is where you'd go, sort of thing.
Kinda.
Yeah, but he had already put those coordinates in by the time he had
I
that
see, okay.
conversation.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why Riddick, Vin Diesel, they're all the same person. Always 10 steps ahead.
Richard B. Riddick.
Richard.
Yeah, his name is actually Richard.
That's
Yeah, we
what
looked it up.
That's what it
It's like
says.
Chuck E. Cheese being Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Dick B. Riddick.
Wait, what does the B stand for? Badass.
Yeah, it has to be. What else? What else could it stand for?
Boris.
No, he's like
Barry?
Can my middle name?
Wait, so his name is Dick Barry Riddick?
So he's like, can my middle name be and? So it's D and oh, never mind.
Dick and Riddick?
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you want D&D you're trying to get in there?
Yeah, for some reason I fucked it up.
Yeah, I want my name to be DNR, Digital Noise Reduction. I prefer my movies that way. Have you seen the Blu-ray of Predator? Oh boy, it's terrible. That's a very specific joke.
This is Vin Diesel keeps talking, and you just cut to the studio executives going, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
It doesn't matter. He made Triple X. We've got to make whatever he wants to do next because he didn't want to be in the Fast and the Furious movies. And I wonder if him appearing in 4 was after the failure.
He specifically said Vin Diesel doesn't do sequels.
But then
unless
he
it's
did.
Chronicles of Riddick. Well, he did like an apology tour afterwards because he made The Pacifier right after Chronicles of Riddick. And I think that was a bit of a hit. So that gave him more like...
That was like his kindergarten cop.
yeah.
Well, I read that the only reason Riddick... was it Riddick or was it Chronicles got made was because Vin Diesel had become a star.
It was Chronicles.
It was Chronicles.
Also Riddick, because there's no reason for that movie to exist. No one was clamoring for a third Riddick
Someone
movie.
like self-fund Riddick?
Vin Diesel.
It looks like it.
Yeah, it was Vin Diesel that did it.
Yeah, because that had a crazy low budget. Like that got slashed.
Yeah, although I remember, I saw it several years ago, but I remember it looking pretty good.
I mean, Dave Bautista's
Riddick?
in it. No, it looks terrible.
No?
And that's the
I
one
have to
where
revisit it.
Vin Diesel is so manly. Oh, okay, we got to point out in this that like every woman in Chronicles of Riddick like loves Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I think even Judi Dench is kind of...
There's a scene that it isn't in the
It's
theatrical.
not in the theatrical version.
Okay.
It's the director's cut where like one of the mercs who's captured Riddick like smells him. She's like,
Oh, yeah. So
This is when they're all in cryo sleep.
Yeah, he smells someone earlier, and then a woman smells him.
and then he's like, you grind your teeth when you sleep.
sexy. Yeah.
Yeah. She like
He says sexy.
well, yeah, he's in cryo sleep, so she straddles him and she's just like intending to molest him while he sleeps.
Yeah, I mean, unless that's not what was happening in that scene, but it certainly
no, that's
looks,
definitely what was
what was happening.
looks
yeah.
like it.
In
yeah.
the third one, Riddick, at the end, it's revealed that like Vin Diesel's so hunky that he turned like a lesbian
Yeah,
straight.
and
Yeah,
a lesbian
yeah.
who like specifically is hit on by men earlier and was like, "Don't fuck with me. I'm a lesbian. I don't
I'm
like
not
men.
interested.
Fuck
But then Vin
off."
Diesel comes in and she's like,
And
"Oh
then she,
man,
yeah, and then
you're
she
chasing Amy me."
It's implied that she has sex with Riddick at the end because he saves her. Oh, so digressive.
Yeah, but it's funny
regressive.
because it's Vin Diesel and that would never happen.
Yeah, so they go to this Crematoria, which is like this prison planet, and so this I think they like preface it. They said that on the dark side of the planet, it's like minus 300 degrees, it's freezing, and in the sun, it's like 2,000 degrees.
You
It's
won't
like,
survive 5 minutes out there. You won't survive 5 seconds. You're gonna go up like a matchstick.
if you were exposed to this heat.
But that is like the worst prison in the world. That's run by like 3 guys.
And also, like, the prison area is not, people aren't even really in cages. Like, the doors are open. It's like a big open cave area, kind of.
Yeah, but they can't get up.
No,
Yeah.
they can't get up.
No, and they
There's
can't
a rope
leave.
every now and then.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like all the money that you would have to spend. Just kill these people. Like, just kill them.
So he
Yeah,
goes
but
to
they want
prison.
to release dogs on them for some reason.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
That's a big set piece.
Yeah, they have these CG dogs that, of course, Vin Diesel befriends.
Yeah.
Well, before that, they hang him in the middle of the rope of the prison,
Yeah.
and then he twirls himself up like a Cirque du Soleil
Acrobat.
aerial acrobat and twirls all the way down and then breaks the chain, and then he's free.
But lands on his feet. And
Yeah.
of course, welcome to hell. I think somebody's like, if I was given a choice between hell and crematoria, I'd welcome hell.
So he meets up with a girl from the first movie whose name was Jack, and now she goes by Kira.
Yeah, that's confusing.
It's very weird.
It's kind of like, yeah, I used to be Jack when it was played by a different actor. Now I'm Kira.
No, you know why? It's probably because Vin Diesel was confused. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I've got a different name now.
Yeah,
a
it's like,
different
Jack.
character.
Wait, she's not a dude?
Yeah.
But her name's Jack.
She's
He's
not
like,
pretending to be a boy anymore.
Jack doesn't look anything like the actress from the first movie. God, we got to give her a
Can we
different
shave
name.
her head or something like that?
But
change her name.
I liked this actress. I like this character.
She's cool. She's a fucking
very-
great fight scene in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When
that she then loses and Vin Diesel has to save her from.
Yeah, it's like
She still holds her own pretty good.
yeah, they're kind of like they have the place on lockdown and all the guards come and they're kind of like raiding. What did you say they're doing?
They're tossing the cells.
tossing the cells and then
April knows the prison lingo
I've
from her
seen
time up in
Shawshank.
the joint.
it's like and she kicks their asses and this is a fucking great scene.
Yeah, because they're like, watch it. She's always got a blade on her. And it's like, where's her blade this time? It's in her boot.
yeah, it's in her
Yeah,
heel.
because they're like feeling her up, and then she like kicks and like kills the guy. and
It's
then,
so
yeah.
well choreographed and shot. It's like really, really good. I wish all the other action scenes were like this.
Yeah, anything with like Vin Diesel in it, it feels like Vin Diesel's like, I don't need to choreograph it. Just let me go at them. And just you record, try to capture the moment.
I got a teacup.
So that's the infamous teacup scene.
Yeah, because Vin Diesel shows up and he's like, hey, what's up?
It's
I'm
like,
going
what
to
do you-
kill you with this teacup. And they're like, I'd like to see you try.
And he does.
And he does. And then there's a funny gag where he, like, where the teacup was, he puts like a little like tab as if to indicate I'm going to kill you with this now.
No, it's like a spam key. They used to open up
It's
spam.
a
and
little
he,
metal.
and he kind of shows them like, and then they take off.
What's weird about the film is it feels like it was rewritten at the last moment because Vin Diesel's like, oh, they do open the doors every now and then. Get ready. When my plan goes in action, it's going to happen fast. And then nothing that he does causes, everybody gets killed because the mercs betray the prison guard, or the prison guard try to betray the mercs. And then Vin Diesel, they just kind of casually walk up.
I know.
There's not a big
Yeah.
They're
prison
not
escape.
even going fast, even
Yeah.
when they're outside. And so the sun is going towards them, and it burns you if it touches you.
Yes,
Yeah, so
as
like
the sun does.
So it almost feels like this section, Crematoria, could be its own movie.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
this is like a prison break movie or something like that. But they have to escape.
We need to pad this movie out. You got any other scripts, David? You want to just insert right here?
Yeah, it's like, look, we're not going to fund the rest of the movie. So just like pick your favorite scene from each of these Riddicks. We'll make one big movie. So yeah, he takes like some of the prisoners and then they have to basically outrun the sun. So they have to stay in the dark side.
That also happens in The Mummy Returns.
Does it really?
Yes, it does.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
So they have to
God.
reach the pyramid before the sun hits it. And the scene was like Brendan Fraser like
yeah.
running with his son.
Really?
Yep.
I remember that kind of.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
my
great.
In a long
Oh my
time.
God.
I know Colin.
This
when
movie's
this podcast
better.
is going to end, he's like, you know what? I got to watch The Mummy Returns.
That's
It'll
like my-
end, and he's going to go, I love it so much, I want a Mummy Returns tattoo.
Oh my
And
God.
this movie's
It's like
better than the
my
Mummy
whole
Returns.
world. So this is a very extended scene where they're basically outrunning it's called the Terminator. It's where the sun, sort of the light ends and the shadows
Did they call it the
starts.
Terminator?
It's called the
Why
Terminator.
don't they call it the Terminatrix or something
No,
like
they
that?
don't call it that in the movie. This is what science calls it.
Oh, it's a real
Science.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where like, you know, you can
Yeah.
see the
When
Terminator.
the sun hits you, you're like, ah!
It's kind of a Terminator line around the planet where the sun and the shadow kind of meet. So they have to outrun this, but none of it makes sense. Like, you know,
I don't know where it's going because they like outrun it, they cross a hill,
And then it starts again.
And then it starts again.
yeah, so it's like they're kind of. First of all, you can't outrun this.
can't outrun
this.
the
Would be
sun.
so fast. And second of all, it's like in the movie, the I forget what temperature they give, but it's like anything exposed to the sun like incinerates instantly.
Yeah, and the problem with that is, I mean, it's the movie problem was like running away from explosions or anything like that. It's like if you're close to that, like it
Yeah.
doesn't need to be touching you.
You would be burned to death like instantly. Like they're hiding around on the backside of a rock that is being exposed to this
This is
intensity.
space sun. It's different than regular human
Sure, let's go with that.
sun. Yeah, and Riddick covered himself in water, so he's okay.
Yes.
I don't understand why he did that.
Well, in his mind, this is Vin Diesel's mind. He's like, if I put water over myself, then exposing myself to 2,000 degrees,
It'll
it'll cool me.
evaporate
It'll cool
before.
me.
I guess.
Sure.
would
and then he
evaporate
swings.
instantly.
But then this rope that's made out of twine or whatever the hell
Yeah.
it is.
It's space twine.
It's space twine.
Yeah.
So he attaches that to a rock and then swings in broad daylight and is
There's a really funny effect shot of him like.
oh yeah.
It's like that that classic, like, we just pasted them onto
It's like Van Helsing or something.
Yeah. Oh, man, Van Helsing has a lot of
Might have to
swinging
get
in
to
it.
that someday.
Van Helsing, I think I said this before, is a movie that I've watched maybe 30 times the first 20 minutes, and I'm like, this is so much fun. How can this not be good? And then I'm like an hour, and I'm like, turn it off.
Yeah,
turn
after
it off.
2.5 hours,
So much
it's
swinging.
torture.
So much swinging.
It's more swinging than a Spider-Man movie.
But then Vin Diesel and his gang of friends that he's made over this time, which are then brutally killed.
The only one who survives is Kira, right?
Yeah, so they make it to like the docking bay. They want to like steal this spaceship and get off.
Necromongers are
But then the
there.
Necromongers are there waiting for them, and they get in a big fight. And again, this is a really long, extended fight scene.
Yeah,
And,
not the Vin Diesel stuff, because again, he's just like...
I remember
again,
enjoying
slapping.
it.
I like that Vin Diesel just knows that Kira has blades in her boots, so he like picks her up and swings her around.
He's throwing her around like he's using her as a weapon in this scene. He's throwing her around like a basketball, like. Bruh.
And then we get into some of the director's cut stuff where, like, the angel of the planet Furia.
Furia. So it's revealed that Vin
Furian.
Diesel comes from a planet called Furia. So he's a Furian. And it's like prophesized that only a male Furian will bring the end to the Necromongers.
And Colin Fior strangled all the Furian
Just
babies.
like in, The Prince of Egypt.
The classic animated film. Never seen it.
The story of Moses.
He strangled them with his umbilical cord?
No, but he went. It was prophesized that one would become Moses, so he went around and killed all the babies, the
never heard
firstborn sons.
Because I'm a Scientologist. That is not true. No, wait, bleep that. I don't want them coming after
But
me.
we haven't mentioned there's another character named the Purifier, I think, who's played by that guy from Mandy.
I forget his name. Yeah, he's the bad guy in Mandy, and he plays Bruce Wayne's dad in Batman Begins.
The guy who rips off the MacGruber at the end. You guys ever seen MacGruber?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There's this. Remember at the end of Mandy, and just like in MacGruber, the scene he's like, "I'll suck your dick."
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about this movie. What are you
Will
talking
Forte
about?
shows up. That's one of the Necromongers. He's like, "Hey guys, sorry I'm late. It's me."
He said, "Come on, Riddick man, I'll suck your dick."
I'll suck your dick. Don't kill me, man. Please, just get some toner. We can use it as lube. That scene is so funny.
So
We're
he
gonna
kind of
have to
like
see that
he
movie.
reveals to Vin Diesel that he's also a Furian, but the Necromongers are kind of like the Borg. They go from planet to
Yes.
planet.
Kind of like.
They are the Borg.
Yeah.
They assimilate like cultures and stuff like that.
Only
So
it's
he's-
religious instead of technological.
yeah. So he's like, and then Jack gets kidnapped, the girl, by the Necromongers, and then Vin Diesel's like, "I'm gonna go after her. You gonna tell me not to?" And he says, "Yes, but as a Furian, I was hoping you'd, ignore me, like and kill Colin
Are you
Fior."
gonna help me in some way? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill myself.
He just kills himself.
This is when Riddick, like he explodes in like an energy beam, and then he realizes.
Yeah, that was before.
It was
way
way
before
before this. Yeah.
No, it happened because when Purifier like opens his chest and there's like a glowing handprint
glowing
on it,
handprint,
and
yeah.
so he's like, I have the glowy power too. But yeah, he could have helped him.
What does being a Furian mean? I don't know. I'm just real strong and cool.
That looks like a power from a video game. It's like when you're surrounded by a bunch of bad guys.
Did you say a favorite thing, Colin? We've been going through the plot so much.
There's
I have a lot of favorite
there's a lot
things.
of
You just
plot.
gotta pick one.
Well, production design, I think is great, and I like a lot of the kind of fantastical wackadoodle science things, like the little like hunter guys,
Yeah.
the way they speak through
that
the
sounds
dead
real
bodies.
close to what April said.
No, it's okay. I love. It'd be faster if I talk about the things I don't like about this movie. To be honest,
Yeah, because there's nothing. We're right through it already, and we're getting to the climax where Vin Diesel sneaks into the Necromongers stronghold.
Yeah.
yes, to defeat Colm Fior. But like this is when like the Carl Urban stuff is happening. He's kind of like sidelined a little bit in this movie. I wish he was in it more because he's good and his haircut is amazing.
I want to talk about my favorite thing, which is that there's so many shots in this movie that it's like the storyboard artists are like, "This is awesome." Whether it be like shots of like a landscape or the shot of like, I guess Vin Diesel's like just hanging out on some statue that's coming down. Like when he's in the Necromonger base, he's
Yeah.
just like laid out on it.
There's these
like a Frank Frazetta painting or something.
gigantic statues.
Yeah.
And also there's like a bajillion Dutch angles and like angles that like speed ramp and
speed ramping.
but it's
Very
like,
popular at the time.
I know, but I enjoyed it even though we got to stop with all the speed ramping. It's too much. And now we're still doing it. See our Patreon episode about Robin Hood.
Speaking of speed ramping.
Yeah, Speed Racer. Great movie. And so Colin Feore and Vin Diesel get into a knockdown, drag-out fight where Colin Feore can like teleport across the room.
It's like this fight was made for stuntmen. It's like neither of these actors are doing any of their own fighting.
No.
But like he looks like, sorry, go ahead.
Well, Colin Feore has it's kind of established later that he kind of like went to the underverse, I think they call it. So it's sort of hinted that he like went beyond the grave and came back. So he kind of like can turn into a ghost at points. His sort of soul can leave his body and he can like grab things and then teleport. So
it's kind of like an X-Men teleporting power a little bit.
Okay. Yeah,
but it's more like his soul is like stretches out of him. So if you hit him, he can just jump to where his soul is and kind of dodge you.
Yeah.
Only Vin Diesel is like, he's really good at beating him up.
Well, not that good, because the only way that he can finally defeat him is after Jack gets killed, saving Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Well, Jack stabs the
Colin Feore.
what's his name? The Surgeon
Lord.
General.
Surgeon General of the Necromongers. Smokers or jokers, Necros.
The Lord Marshal?
Lord Marshal.
Yeah.
But it's actually a really fun death scene because finally Carl Urban is going to kill Colin Feore with a big axe. And Thaddy Newton is so happy about it. She turns her back on it. She's like, what is it? It's
I think she says
flawless.
flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was Carl Urban's plan? Colin Feore is just going to teleport out of this.
Well,
but
he
he
didn't think so.
teleports into Vin Diesel's blade as it comes down. And it's great because it takes forever to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're way ahead, and you're like, and then he like gets a knife in the head, and then he snaps it off. It's like amazing.
And then I think he like elbows him in the face as well.
Yeah, and this like body just clunks on the ground. It's like
And
amazing.
Carl Urban is really upset because his plan was to defeat the Emperor while he was weakened, and he was
going to ascend the throne.
He wanted to take the power.
And
of
then
everything.
Vin Diesel sits in the big chair, and there's a close up of his lips, and he's like, "You get what you give,
Or you keep what you kill."
The thing is, it's such a great ending because he's not happy about this. He didn't want power. He didn't want anything. All he wanted to do was save his friend, and then his friend ended up
failed.
dying, and he's just like got his head in his hands, and he's like just sitting on the nearest chair, and then he realizes, oh shit, I'm in the throne, and then all these people start bowing, and he's like, oh god, I really don't want to
This
be in
is like-
control of
do you
all
guys-
these freaks.
It's like the Evil Dead 2 ending, pretty
It's exactly
much.
Evil Dead.
Yeah. It's like,
Charles the One.
it's the exact same shot, except he's sitting in the throne exactly like Conan, the end of Conan the Barbarian.
Do you guys remember how the third one starts? Because it's very funny. It starts with
Carl
voice
Urban's in it, right?
for one shot. It starts with a voiceover of Vin Diesel going, "I was king. It was pretty boring though." And then it cuts to Carl Urban literally being like, "Stay out of Riverdale," and he like kicks him off on a desert planet. That's the only Carl Urban that there is in the movie.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, how are they going to address this in the movie that had the sequel that came out like
They
10
don't.
years later?
Oh, I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah.
It's
you
really good.
stay out of Necro Planet.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I guess everybody talked about their favorite.
Yep,
thing.
it gets the no budget, not no budget.
It's pretty low budget.
No
I mean,
such thing as a bad movie.
it's not.
Seal of approval.
oh yeah, sorry.
How much you guys? How much
It's
money
not
do
a
you
low
think this
budget.
movie cost? $1 billion.
Well, I think I looked it up.
100
It was
million.
120.
Looked like it cost less than that.
No, I think this movie has a lot of great production value.
Robin Hood?
The costumes are amazing. All the main characters get really good costumes. Obviously, there's a lot of extras, so they're probably wearing rubber,
There's a real like
armor.
Canadian feel to it all, like the like Andromeda and stuff like that.
I think it looks really good, and yes, some of the
I love
effects
the
are
movie,
bad,
April.
But here's the thing: after a glowing recommendation, I'm sure a lot of you are going to watch this movie, and I'm sorry in advance if you don't like it, because a lot of people didn't like this movie.
Yeah, it's okay.
A lot of people consider it a bad movie.
Some
but
people just can't have fun.
I feel like this movie is really fun, and the only boring part I thought was kind of the first act because it kind of meandered a little bit.
A lot of exposition.
But otherwise, I was along for the ride, and I was just enjoying the whole thing. There's a line at one point where someone says, "No more run for you."
No more run.
Yeah.
110 million.
Oh, so
okay.
And
we
it
were about
made
right.
115 million at the box office.
Ugh.
I mean, it's more than I thought it was going to make.
No, it's 57.
It only
domestic.
lost $5 million.
That's not how movie budgets work.
I know.
A lot of people think that. They go, you see this argument again and again and again. It's like, oh, it made like 120.
It needs to make double its budget
and it costs
back.
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three
In order
times.
to
Yeah,
make
it's-
a profit?
Yeah, it's like 2.5 to 3 times the budget just to break even.
Yep.
So if a movie costs like 110 million and it makes 120, that's not a profit.
So has Sonic the Hedgehog gone into profit? I think it
You
made
never know.
$200 million.
I'm not surprised. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the biggest opening of all
A video
time
game
for a video
movie
game
ever,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that
Coming soon to this podcast, I'm sure.
yeah, oh boy. I would really love to see this 4th Riddick that is supposed to be
I thought you were
called
going to say Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, that's supposed to be called Furia, and it's been in development for like 10 years.
Have you seen the animated
No.
prequel?
Squeakquel?
Prequel, yeah.
No, I haven't. Is it good?
Directed by Peter Chung, the guy behind Eon Flux.
Oh, yeah.
Hey!
And have you played the game, which was supposed to be very good, Escape
Actually,
from Butcher Bay, that Vin Diesel did the voice on?
Yeah, I played the demo for it when it came out. It's like, it was actually really good. I never played the actual full game, but it got rave reviews from everybody.
I just found out Peter Chung did one of the Animatrix segments.
That's right,
So
yeah.
there you go.
And it was one of the bad
he's
ones,
a-
I think.
Well,
near the
there's,
end. It
there's
was very
there's
psychedelic and weird.
There's only so many good ones in there.
Yeah. The Last Flight of the Osiris, everyone's favorite.
Anyway,
You got to write that down. I can't forget that that's the one I want to do for this podcast.
Oh, it's so boring.
anyway, that was the Chronicles of Riddick, everybody.
Chronicles of
Chronicles of what?
Should we talk about the third one briefly?
I mean, I remember liking it.
You guys
but,
remember it?
It's more like him. It's a
just Pitch
self-contained
Black.
story. Like it's him on a planet, and then he runs into mercenaries or something.
And there's monsters, like Pitch Black.
Yeah.
It's cool though. I like it. I like the whole not talking thing.
Oh, I love that's the best part of the whole movie.
It's good.
I didn't like it when it turned into like a reboot of Pitch Black. I'm
yeah,
like, it's fine.
Vin Diesel is better when he doesn't speak.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, like,
odd one-liner.
do you think Vin Diesel can come back and still be as good as he was in Chronicles? Because I know he's older now and he's been phoning in like every movie he's in.
Well, I mean, Riddick came out when?
2013.
So that's not that long ago.
I'm not
And he
saying
was
like,
still
oh,
pretty good.
he's not like physically able to.
No, I
do
think
these
he can still
things,
channel
but-
it, and I think it's like I think with this character, he can bring it back pretty easily. I think, but like I said, he's like Snake Plissken. He's like the kind of character you can throw into any situation or movie or whatever, and as long as he stays consistent.
I can't imagine them making a fourth one though, because the third one did not do well at the box office.
No.
I know, but like there has to be there has to be some fans out there like us who
You know, what you should probably do. You should probably do like a limited TV
A
run,
miniseries,
on,
a Netflix
on like
series?
Netflix or something.
Yeah, well, David Twohy. It's weird that like he wasn't part of that first wave of like Marvel directors. We're like, we need some journeymen to direct something.
That's weird.
Like
Like,
his Doctor Strange would have been great.
What has he done?
Nothing.
Like, so in between these 3 movies,
He did A Perfect Getaway, which I was mentioning and you've never seen. We
Never
played
even
it
heard
at
of it.
Laser Blast in December because we did 2 David Twohy movies. We did
Oh, yeah.
Timescape and then we played A Perfect Getaway.
I think we couldn't
I've
go to
never
that
even
because
heard
it
of
was
it.
too close to Christmas. But I didn't realize that was the Riddick guy.
Yeah, it was a Twohy
A Twohy
double
Twohy.
bill.
Two
One of them
Twohys.
Yeah, 2 Twohys, and they were both about vacations. And then he did The Arrival, the Charlie Sheen
yeah,
film.
okay, I remember that.
And I mentioned he did Below, which was the haunted
Haunted Submarine.
So smaller movies that
Yeah, he
you
was
know,
mostly
not-
known as a screenwriter. He did like a lot of rewrites on stuff. There's a documentary about the, if you guys remember, Babylon AD.
Oh yeah,
And they fired the director, and he appears in the doc, which makes me think they like brought him on to either like direct
because
some
like
of that
Vin
movie.
trusted him.
Give Vin Diesel trusted him, yeah.
Some of the
or-
behind the scenes stuff on that movie
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah, there's an hour-long French documentary.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Online, so, and yeah, because he wrote G.I. Jane. Yeah, he did. None of his directorial debuts have, or debuts. Yeah, many debuts. He changed his name. None of his films have been like huge hits because those are all the films that he directed. So I don't think that he'll be coming back. So I heard some rumors about him because we did reach out, and my pal Peter was in contact with him and his agent and stuff like that. When we screened A Perfect Getaway, and he said that he just wants final cut on stuff and he wants like the final word,
and
and
they-
he's rich enough off of the movies that he's made that he doesn't really need to work again.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just
nice.
writing, like Larry Cohen or something like that. I hope living in a castle somewhere.
Good on him.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, once you make movies like The Fugitive. Oh, that's right. He wrote Waterworld as well.
No shit.
Yeah, he wrote Warlock, the first one, and Critters 2. And what else did he do? Oh, he wrote the script for Imposter. Remember that terrible movie that starred Gary Sinise? It was a short that they made into a feature.
No.
Oh, this sounds familiar.
It's Philip K. Dick's Imposter.
Yes, that sounds familiar.
It's terrible, but yeah. So he's had an interesting career. And Terminal Velocity he wrote as well.
Oh, get out of
the
town.
Charlie Sheen
No.
skydiving movie.
Oh my God.
He must have just been in with Charlie Sheen at that time.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, anyway, if the things
interesting career.
that we said sound good, consider renting Chronicles of Riddick. It's on iTunes. And check out the unrated version because you might be daunted by the extra 15 minutes, but
2 hours and 15 minutes.
it's worth it. You get you get some swears, you get a little extra violence, you get some tongue kissing by Carl Urban and Thandi Newton.
That scene is so disgusting,
but totally
Is that
worth
only
it.
in the director's cut?
That's what we heard. Yeah,
they are like.
Did you look at moviecensorship.com and you're like, what are the added stuff?
They're like tongue kissing, it's amazing. And
It's
you're just like two of these hottest
It's
people.
purposefully gross, which is
Flawless.
great.
great.
They're both great. Everyone's great in this movie. And if you want to email the podcast, we're at nosuchthingAsABadMovie@gmail.com. And if you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/nosuchthingAsABadMovie. And if you want to subscribe at the $5 level, you'll get a little mini episode every 2 weeks. Next episode is about one of the Robin Hoods. Try and guess which one.
Men in tights.
You've got about 63 to choose from.
Yeah. And next episode, which is coming out in 2 weeks, is going to be our listener request episode. So if you're a Patreon subscriber at the $2 level or up, you will be in the Bad Movie Draw, and we will pick your name and you get to choose a movie. So
I
look forward to that.
to what someone will pick.
Please, like 90 minutes.
Yeah,
85
under 2
to
hours.
90
Oh, yeah. It
minutes.
has to be under 2 hours.
No. Can we say under 90 minutes? Under 100 minutes? Because we've gotten
say-
over 2 hour movies the
Yeah.
last
Let's
They're
say
not fun.
under 100 minutes. Yeah, and still like that movie. And if you want to tweet at us, we're at No Such Thing Pod, and I'm at April at Mansky on Twitter.
You can follow me on Twitter at DeclouJ, DecLoux and the letter J. Or listen to me every week on the Important Cinema Club podcast.
And you can follow me on Twitter. It's SGTZIMA, Sergeant Zima, I think.
Yeah,
Where am I?
that's it. So that's it for this week. I'm April at Mansky.
I'm Justin DeClue.
And I'm Colin Cunningham.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
Only great ones like Chronicles of Riddick.
yeah.